Brad and Rach have made their return to social media and accidentally blew their cover on a live stream. Backing up with Cybersleuths and Jay's own family have been saying for months that something is just not quite right in the Jay Slater case. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell so you can catch my live streams. Slater story, the truth untold. Unravel the mystery before the case turns cold. So first things first, Jay Slater's supposed best friend went live last night on Instagram, and just have a listen to this.
Jay Slater, I do hotter. Right, fuck off with your comments. Go away.
I don't see any of them.
Because you're a guest, babe.
Brad, can you see the comments?
Yeah.
I'm fuming.
Why
I'm pissed off. This is come here.
Everyone's gonna think I saw shit. I don't even know who this club is.
I'm pissed off. Look how many people are watching us.
I didn't even know when you joined.
So many.
Nah, I only joined to chat to you. I didn't know the club was on it.
Come to Dubai, Antalya.
I'm Joy leaving. I don't even know. Tell her to shut her mouth.
Oh, Megan, don't.
So that was a bit hard to understand, but one sleuth wrote that, quote, "It sounds like Brad said, I didn't even know Jay," end quote. So Brad is off screen in this Instagram live. So let's listen to this again and see if we can make it out that Brad says he doesn't even associate with Jay. Let's play this again.
Everyone's gonna think I saw shit. I don't even know who this club is.
Look how many people are watching us.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, and then immediately after saying that, he leaves the live stream. So that's what I heard. Many sleuths from the get-go questioned if Brad and Jay were really as close as they said they were, since very little pictures of them existed together. Sleuths have dug up the person Brad went live with, you know, the one that was yelling Jay Slater, and it appears that she might be on a boat. So this is from Scoobs on TikTok, but they basically looked at the reflection again of this shot of the woman in Brad's live, and it looks as though that the reflection shows what appears to be a boat. Let me know what you guys think, or is this someone's imagination running wild? But from the start, many sleuths called into question Brad's ITV interview, and this is what really set all the sleuths off. So in the interview, Brad says he called Jay at around 8:30 a.m. But the only problem with that is to get to the area Jay went off path, which you can see on both the Snapchat ping right here and on the Apple Maps ping, it would take around 38 minutes according to Google Maps. So Ophelia allegedly saw Jay at 8:15 a.m. here, and Jay allegedly left the B&B at 8 a.m. So just for the record, I personally believe Jay never made it to this B&B alive. But if we are going by the supposed eyewitness testimony, who I think personally Ophelia was paid off to say that she saw Jay, there is absolutely no way Jay was in the ravine at 8:30 a.m. because according to this timeline, he would still be on the highway at that point, somewhere around here where that green dot is, which a lot of people actually say is a bit sketchy because who was there when Jay vanished as he was sharing his location? So in short, this is really confusing and convoluted, but if you follow this case closely, you will know that the friends' timelines don't add up, in my opinion, and this is why so many of the sleuths are asking for justice for Jay. It was revealed yesterday that Ayub, one of the last people to ever see Jay alive, actually had a home in Tenerife, and he was only questioned for 24 hours after Jay disappeared, and then he took off to the UK, and in my opinion, that is super sketchy because why did he try to flee the country immediately after Jay disappeared? Raising a few red flags here. But in this interview, back to Brad didn't really talk about Jay at all in this interview. And I mean, the interview was edited, but really it seemed to me that Brad was using this interview, in my opinion, as a way to control the narrative and cover for his friend Lucy. So Lucy always said Jay called her at 8:30 a.m., which is strangely the same time Brad said Jay was on the phone with him. So I'm not sure how you can call two people at once, but it was later revealed through screenshots that it was an outgoing call. By the way, this was deleted from Rach and Lucy's Facebook group. Anyway, it was revealed that Lucy actually called Jay at 8:44 a.m. And that's when Brad came out in this ITV interview, which was a disaster in my opinion, and tried clearing up the narrative and said, Lucy, oh no. Lucy interrupted his Snapchat video call with Jay by calling Jay. So I just want to be clear here, and this is why so many sleuths are interested in his friend's stories, because this is a total contradiction from both Lucy's GoFundMe statement right here says 8:30 a.m., her Sky News interview where she said it was 8 a.m., and in various news reports, she said it was 8:15 a.m. It's clear to me that, in my opinion, because their statements keep changing, his friends are lying for the world to see, and everybody calling this out are called crazy conspiracy theorists, but why can't they get their story straight? Lucy said Jay's phone was running out of battery, even though he was allegedly given a charger at the B&B, and his own mother, Debbie, said he never let his phone run out of battery. So again, in my opinion, this is yet another lie, since Jay would not be able to make a Snapchat video call at 1% battery because this Snapchat video call would make his phone immediately run out. And most importantly, the journalist, Isla Tranquer, in this interview said that there was no record of this Snapchat video call. But Isla tried to explain it that Snapchat does not record your Snapchat video calls. So anybody who has the app Snapchat on their phone can immediately prove that this is false and misinformation and totally and completely untrue. Snapchat does record your video calls. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Snapchat video call between Brad and Jay never happened and was used as a way to make it seem like Jay made it to the B&B alive and went on an 11-hour hike, and that's how he got lost. In my opinion, his friends are lying to cover for themselves and push a narrative that Jay was just some naive person who walked off a cliff trying to take a shortcut. And I mean, no one, not even his own family, is buying that narrative. In Jay Slater's dad's, Warren's, own TikTok video, one can clearly see from the steps of the B&B that there was no shortcut and Jay was going the wrong way, if Jay was ever there to begin with. You can see from the steps of the B&B, which is on the left here, that civilization is that way, which is towards the Masca village. And that's also the right way to Jay's hotel in Los Cristianos. But instead, Jay went the wrong way up the hill instead of taking the bus that was right there. And you could actually see coming in this shot, it's the green bus. There was just so many options for Jay to make it back to this hotel safely. And get this, there was no other witnesses to Jay actually being at the B&B besides Ayub, the convicted substance dealer, and Ophelia, the cafe owner who many believe was paid off, despite it being a busy road that you can see on the right here. So why did no one else see Jay? Why did Jay have so many options to make it back to his hotel safely, and he chose to go the wrong way? But not only that, why was he even at the B&B to begin with? Brad's own screenshot of Jay's final location is another contradiction of the narrative Brad was trying to push in the ITV interview. Brad allegedly posted this screenshot the day Jay went missing. The only problem with that is it says Jay stopped sharing his location 22 hours ago. This timeline means that Jay went missing before even arriving at the B&B around 7 a.m. So what happened to Jay in the hours of 4 and 6 a.m. when Jay apparently left this rave? I mean, this sort of footage was deleted allegedly from Rach and Lucy's Facebook group, and it appears to show some sort of altercation, and then the CCTV footage goes on to show that beach video that allegedly shows Jay getting murked and someone yelling out for Ayub, aka Quack Quack, which is his nickname. And that's allegedly Jay being carried across the beach. Pretty eye-opening stuff if this is real or not. So the man Jay was taken in a vehicle to this remote B&B 23 miles north in Masca named Ayub said that Jay wanted to, quote, carry on partying, end quote, even though Ayub later admitted they all just went to bed. Then the story changed to Jay had lost his key and had nowhere to stay. But Warren posted a TikTok of a key that they found that had the words studio on it, showing that potentially Jay had his key with him when he went missing. So this is just another contradiction. The only proof we have of Jay ever making it to this B&B are these Snapchat photos that don't even show Jay. I mean, on the left here, I swear I can see 4 feet under that blanket, as well as on the right here is just this random photo of the Masca village that Jay apparently took. And this is also how Lucy apparently knew where Jay was and was able to go to Ayub's. More on that in a bit. Warren took like this stealth photo of Brad in his cryptic TikTok video, and it appears that Brad might have, dark marks on his eyes as if he got into an altercation, which many say they saw in his ITV interview as well. And Brad appears to be wearing the same shoes as Jay in the final snap. So he's wearing black shoes that look very similar to the black shoes in this photo, as well as on the right here, I can almost see a painted toenail sticking out from that blanket, which is interesting because Jay's shoes were said to have been white the night he disappeared. One sleuth, Jodine, thank you for emailing this in, pointed out that this Snapchat was supposed to be taken at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. The only problem with that is the sunrise on June 17th, the day Jay apparently took this photograph, was 7:07 a.m. and it would take about 10 minutes for the sun to fully rise. So as you can see, the Snapchat was still kind of dark and not light. I mean, the sun was not up when Jay took this photo. It's also a blanket from Lucy's hotel room. So Sleuth suggests that this Snapchat was actually taken sometime the night before, because how else would they get this light in the shot? So this actually lines up with the 22 hours from Brad's Snapchat screenshot, possibly showing that what happened to Jay was planned. Like they took all these photos the night before and then took Jay's phone and then posted them on a Snapchat to make it seem like he embarked on this 11-hour journey. And then later on threw his phone, because his phone was allegedly found wiped and his clothes were found beside him as if his body was planted there. Lucy also said she wasn't friends with Ayub, but was able to identify his B&B through this Snapchat, which, let's be honest, would be like finding a needle in the haystack. Also, Ayub came out and said he did know Jay's friends, and then also said a girl called him at around 8:30 a.m. to say that Jay was cut by a cactus and in a ditch. Jay would not be in the ravine at that point of that Lucy phone call, but still on the highway. And no evidence of Jay's DNA was ever found on a cactus, despite world-class sniffer dogs searching this area for 3 weeks. And as well, Ayub's statement about Jay being in a ditch was a very strange foreshadowing, because Jay was eventually found in a chillingly same way as he stated. So is it possible that his friends had everything planned out? And the timeline with the phone calls and the maps just shows that they didn't really think this through and didn't expect sleuths online to really look into it and point out the contradictions in their statements. Personally, what I found most strange was that instead of going to the mountains of Jay's final pings and looking for Jay, Lucy immediately went to authorities and said Jay was missing when he could have been very well been trying to make his way back to the hotel on an 11-hour hike. I mean, why would Lucy immediately tell authorities Jay was missing? He could have just been still trying to make his way back home. And how did she know within the hour that this was the case, that Jay was out in the mountains somewhere and gone? So why wouldn't you just use that time instead of going to the authorities to go out there and find Jay? I mean, she was on the phone with him. Just tell Jay to wait on the side of the road and we'll pick you up. Instead, infuriatingly, Lucy has come out in an interview on August 30th and made a statement about Jay's character that he often disappeared. I mean, she says in the statement, Jay did this at the energy rave. It almost seems like she's blaming Jay for what happened to him. Like, this is the kind of character Jay is. He's just some naive kid who separates from his friends and walks off a cliff. I'm not really buying that because Sleuths later revealed that Brad and Lucy seemed to be friends with Tom Hilton, liking his pics for years. So Tom was the target of Jay's gang in 2021 that used machetes on him, leaving his skull exposed. Jay's mom, Debbie, revealed that Jay cooperated with authorities and received a lighter sentence. So is it possible that somehow an alliance was formed? Sleuths dug up that Brad's cousin, Davis, and, Rach's cousin, allegedly worked with Ayub. And sleuths also say that Brad's dad is allegedly friends with Tom and his uncle, Stephen Lowe. So sleuths think they see Tom's uncle, Stephen, at the rave in the bottom row here. And they also think they see Ayub and Rocky standing in the corner of the rave videos because it looks like this person's wearing the same shirt that Ayub owns. And the reason why everybody's talking about Tom's uncle right now, Stephen, is because Tom's uncle was in this photograph with Tom Hilton the day Jay went missing, June 17th. And it just says the boys with a blue heart, which is chilling because we all know that's a symbol for Jay. And some have suggested that this could have been an alibi photo. At one time in the case, Brad allegedly cracked and posted that Ayub was seen with Sonny Wilson, which is a man by the name of Lee Taborer's stepson.
This is the man that was with Jay Slater the day he disappeared. You'd think the two men would come forward if they had nothing to hide as to help the search for Jay, unless they don't want their past brought up like Jay's.
So this man Lee has a past of demanding money for people's family members and was also allegedly the fourth person who was there that night at the B&B. This information, again, was scrubbed from Brad's mom, Rach's Facebook group. It's almost like Brad's mom actually knows more and is covering for her son because these text messages are quite eye-opening because Rach allegedly said that Lucy needs to hurry up and transfer that GoFundMe money to pay, then Jay can come home, and that Rach just needs Lucy to hurry up because she hates seeing him like this. And I think also at one point, Brad said he was having nightmares about what he saw happen to Jay, and he let that slip as well. So sleuths are kind of wondering if Rach and Brad really knew all along what really happened to Jay. And another text message allegedly from Rach says, quote, "I know where he is, but can I tell anyone this? No, then I will get took. We need 30K by Monday morning," end quote. Rach was also seen in Warren's video during the search, and some say she looks like she's hovering over what they are trying to find, which some have also said that Rach was doing to Debbie in her interviews trying to find Jay, her son. I mean, just look at Debbie's body language in this photograph. She's like pulling away as Rach is trying to comfort her. Mods at one point were quitting the Facebook group that Rach ran because their posts kept getting deleted. And Rach at one time made this statement about the Jay Slater case.
The fact that he actually was on a FaceTime call to my son in that location suggests he's in that location because he was on the phone to him and he said, all I can see is greenery. Then the phone died, so quite possibly believe that he has the phone, like he's in that area. I don't know. Of course, I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, so that is not true because Brad actually said it was a Snapchat video call and that the phone call ended, the video call ended because Lucy called, not because the phone's battery run out. So a lot of people are kind of wondering, like, is Rach just sort of making stuff up? And I mean, the way she's sighing and all that, it sounds like she's trying to just come up with something to say.
I can't think. Where he was staying, there is right. So, they've been to this festival, and then they've ended up. My son said he wants to go back to the apartment. Jay had other ideas of going with these other lads, which they knew, which were fine. Brad tried to say, well, "Come back, come home with me. I don't really want to go back on my own." But Brad wanted to go back, so he's gone back. And he said, "Listen, you ring me, Jay, when you get there, and you stay in contact with me," which he did do. Brad told him to put his phone on charge, and he said he was going to get some kip. It was the last message to him. "We're going to get some kip, and then I'll ring and get a taxi in the morning." So Brad's not been asleep, my son.
Okay, so this is also where I get tripped up. Didn't Brad say that when Jay called him, Brad was just leaving the festival?
Were you concerned at that point?
Not at the time, no, because we were both like laughing about it. I think he said, "Look where I am." Like I was come out of a festival myself.
It looks like she's not even believing what he's saying in this interview, but that directly contradicts what Rach just said. Rach said that Brad went back to get some kip, which means some sleep, but then we get Brad saying he just came out of a festival himself when he got that phone call. So which one is it? Why does this story keep changing? If there's one thing that I've learned, like, if you're telling the truth, you don't have to remember the truth. But if you're making it up, it's obviously going to change a lot. And I also just can't get past like the marks around his eye that looks like he got, hit. But also the way his body language reads here and the way he swallows is just like classic signs of somebody who's not telling the truth. Let's watch this swallow because I can't get past it.
So you said that you could see his feet and he was actually sort of sliding down the hill. Like you could hear the rocks.
Yeah, that's how I knew he went off the road, because you could hear like when you walk on gravel or whatever it is, you can, you know what I mean? It's storms.
It just seems like he's just making it up as he goes, in my opinion. So Rach has since returned to social media after calling out creators like Wax Unfiltered, seeking justice for Jay, and trying to just make sense of this very confusing story. In her statement, she said, quote, "The truth sits with us," end quote. But really, many people, including Jay's own family, believes that there's way more to the story and wants Rach and her son Brad and Lucy and Ayub to tell the truth, because nothing is adding up, in my opinion. Personally, I believe Jay was placed at the bottom of that cliff by boat because Jay's location was accessible from the beach at the bottom of the ravine. And alarmingly, it was an anonymous tipster who told authorities where his body was to get people to stop asking questions and pursuing justice for Jay. I mean, there are a ton of missing people cases on the Canary Islands alone, and I want to stop this from happening to other people. Anyway, what do you guys think about Brad allegedly slipping up and saying he didn't know Jay? Sound off in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe here. And if you made it this far, you deserve my email, which is josephmorriscontact@gmail.com. I am working through all of your leads, and your brilliant minds help me to create these videos. I get so inspired. So thank you so much for all of your support and even just watching my videos. I love you guys. And let's roll the outro, not before I give Gabby a treat. She is the hardest working private investigator on all of YouTube. She's not hungry. Let's roll the outro. Love you guys. Bye.